are you?
Hey, TingSong. Good, good. How are
Hey,
you?
yeah, not too bad. Where are you now? Are you at home?
Not at home. We have a little cabin in the woods. It's
Oh, nice.
just under an hour outside of Amsterdam, and I'll just show you a little bit the surroundings over here.
Wow.
This is the outside. Let's see. We're just here, like at the edge of the forest. There's a nice forest, and for my son, there's a little trampoline, and there's uh, there's farmers. So it's really the countryside.
Wow. Okay. Is that where you normally go for your summer or like kind of your uh
It's yeah,
getaway?
actually it's we just acquired it like just when the quarantine started, so it was perfect timing. So it's brand new. Yeah.
Wow. And it's perfect timing. It's just a time where you get to rest and then you
E-
get to spend
Exactly, exactly.
all
So
your investments.
so the yeah, I mean the COVID has been changing a lot, and so you wanted to talk about the COVID hangover, right?
Yes, yes. And well, it's a good name for both of us because whenever we meet, we normally had some drinking and some hangovers. And Jeremy Green was just saying that he saw the title and say that, oh, all the hangover due to Jani.
Well, exactly. So I think you have that effect on people, or
Right.
is it me?
Uh, Probably both of us, but probably more you.
So,
So yeah.
so what do you
How's
think?
happening?
Yeah, I mean, so there's of course it's a terrible situation with the whole COVID, but I think there's also some upsides to the situation that we're being forced into. For
Mm.
example, now that we're not so busy treating our patients, um, we are suddenly at home, and for me it has resulted in the fact that the things that I have been postponing for later, I finally find the time to do them now.
Right.
So I
Such
wanted,
as were
yeah, I
you?
want, sorry.
Yeah, what kind of things do you want to do, and you got to do it now?
Yeah, I was. I'm discovering how to organize webinars.
Right.
So I'm doing a lot of webinars. And yesterday we had a crazy successful webinar. My first one was radius expert techniques.
Right.
And you are a very experienced radius user, aren't you?
Right. Well, you've been using Radius, but yeah, I saw your webinar. You have 500 over people, and then because the webinar can only fit 500, and you get stuck.
Exactly. So it was an unexpected big success. So that was really nice. Um, and so
That
I'm upgrading my account with Webinar Jam to have more
someone
people in
saying.
the room.
Right, right. And I think it's great because yeah, this is time. I think it is all of because we've been traveling quite a bit, especially you travel quite a bit, and now you get to do all these things that you want to do at the same time. You can spend more time with the family, and I see you having a lot of time with them right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually
Yeah.
been a little is actually the blessing of the Corona problem is that we have a little bit of paradise here with my little family. It's my wife and my son, and we're all together in this little hideaway in the cabin by the woods. So yeah, we're quite happy here, and
Yeah.
I can get used to it.
And how long have you been on the lockdown? You guys are on the so-called kind of uh,
Yeah,
lockdown,
they
semi-lockdown.
yeah, they call it the intelligent lockdown, which means that there are definitely restrictions and it's absolutely social distancing, and they call it the new 1.5 meter society. So we have
Right.
to keep the distance of 1.5 meters. It's not mandatory to have any face masks on. because they're very much evidence-based in their advices. So they're not promoting the use of face masks, because there is no evidence that if you keep that 1.5 meter distance, that there is any difference in infectability.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's been working very well, because we have a high number, of course, of people in the intensive care units. However,
Right.
it's not going over the capacity maximum. So it's a controlled, let's say, a controlled way of letting the virus kind of infect people.
Right.
In order to build mass immunity, and as soon as there's a lot of people that have been infected, there's a lot of people who are immune, and they will protect the other people from getting infected. So that's the basic idea of this intelligent lockdown thing.
Right. And how long do you think that will last?
Well, yeah, I hope it ends tomorrow. Let me tell you that. Yeah.
And because of that, do you think, because you are also a DJ, right? You play at some of the clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
And how would that ever come back? Do you think that it will take some time before it's allowed to have such a big gathering with people going to pubs and clubs?
Well, one of my friends, DJ, he lives really close to my clinic, so he was walking in the street, Eric E.
Right.
And he's a very famous DJ in the Netherlands, and I talked to him for a bit, and he said, wow, man, I really don't know when the time will be that I can be playing in front of a crowd where people can just dance and, you know, hug and, you know, just go crazy, because, you know, that seems like it's going to be next year. So
Right.
for those people, you know, who are dependent on that kind of income as artists, you know, performing for crowds, yeah, I really feel for them. That's a really terrible situation.
You guys should start a webinar DJ thing, like
Yeah.
the online day that people can party at home.
At home, yeah, yeah. There's a online thing. It's called dancetrippin.tv, and
Right.
and their slogan is "The party's at your place."
All right.
Yeah, they're streaming all these parties. So there's these recordings of these parties all over Visa
Right.
everywhere. So yeah,
Right.
you check that out.
Well, that'll be something that you guys can try out. And what do you think this COVID-19, this whole pandemic will leave an imprint in all of us? How would it affect all of us, do you think?
Well, I think, you know, it affected me in a way. You know, I'm quoting my friend Gijs, and he says, "Never waste a good crisis." Right. So so we do have a crisis. So there's definitely disadvantages when we come out of it, and we're going to have an economic recession, and you know, there's all this other stuff. But there's also possibilities and opportunities. Yes. So right now I'm, you know, studying more and making plans for future projects, research, rebranding my clinic,
Nice.
getting, you know, and I'm doing all these things that I was actually postponing because I was too busy with treating my patients. But
Right.
yeah, so there's time for other stuff right now. Like, for example, the webinars that have, you know, shown to be quite potential. They have quite a potential, those webinars, and also
Right.
in a time where people don't really want to be flying so much, and I am very guilty of flying way too much, and you are too. I mean, we are destroying this planet, and I think,
On
yeah,
the carbon footprint that we lay.
that's what I mean. So I think it is a very good way to, as an alternative to flying
Right.
everywhere, is the online platforms now, like the webinar from yesterday. There's a few things that I've learned that can be improved, but they're very easy to fix. And I think
Right.
that has a very high potential, those webinars.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've been working hard to push aesthetic medicine as part of the medical curriculum all this well. And do you
Yeah.
think that from now on it will be something that you work on in terms of bringing aesthetic medicine borderless and make a better platform for a lot of people to go online to learn aesthetic medicine, maybe get some accreditation with it? Would it something that you will be working on?
Yeah, you know, I have worked for so many years to get that curriculum officially accepted by the Dutch government, and it has, you know, it is there right now. So in the Netherlands, we have an official registration, an official medical specialty, which is aesthetic medicine, and I was
Nice.
one of the, and I was one of the people who really put a lot of time into that, and now that it's done.
Right.
I feel like, okay, my job is done, you know. So my task
Right.
to contribute, you know, to this medical profession is over, and I'm really proud. You know, as I said when we finally had the registration on July 1st, I
Right.
said, wow, this is the moment I could retire now. You
Right.
know, yeah. So
Right.
because if you think about it, you know, who can say that they were part of the birth of a new medical specialty? You know, for me, that was
Right.
something that's like I feel
That's
so
huge. That's
I feel so
awesome.
honored,
Yeah.
to be part
Right.
of that, you know. So
Right.
and for the rest, you know, of course, there's going to be a lot more that needs to be done and needs to be improved, and you know, but the basis is there, you know, and now it needs to grow. The profession needs to grow. We need to be
Exactly.
inside the universities. We need to do a lot of things, and also probably the online teaching modules could replace some of the live theoretical presentations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're saying you said as cornerstone there, you really done that, but you kind of thought that it's time to let go. You've been there, done that. But has COVID-19 changed you? That means it's the fire coming back to you again.
Well, let's say for the moment, I really enjoy just like this little mandatory break somehow. You know,
Okay.
I wake up in the morning, you know, I go for a run, and I have very long breakfast with my kid and with my wife, and you know, it's like all of a sudden it's like 10:30 and we finished breakfast, you know. Like, when do you experience this? It's almost like a holiday. And to be with my kid in such a full-time way is very amazing to me, you know. I normally
It's a blessing, right?
Yeah, I have to
You
find the
normally don't
time.
get that kind of time and chance to do so, right?
Exactly. So I'm really appreciating the situation in that way.
That's good for you. And then the whole family is vegan, right? You guys sort of now
Yeah, we're
cook.
vegan.
So you guys cook these days, or you guys gonna?
Yeah, I think in the last 3 weeks, the only time we went for takeout was there's a very good local Thai restaurant here, so we went to get some Thai, and but for the rest we're just cooking. Yeah, cooking, and
Nice.
yeah. So be vegetarian, save lives.
Yeah, awesomeness. And I've been doing that as well. I'm like
Are you kidding?
getting on. Yes, I know. I'm not
Really?
kidding. I'm like trying out.
But you're Malaysian. You're a carnivore.
Well, you never know. Save the world.
But think so. You're Chinese descent, right?
Right, I am.
So do you know many Chinese Malaysians who are actually vegetarians?
I think there have been a lot of changes these past few years. I've known a lot of friends who actually converted into vegan or vegetarian. There's a big number of vegetarians, but I think in terms of strict vegetarians, that there are some numbers. There's not a lot, and we do see more and more. We used to see a lot of those who are doing more for health issues and more for religious issues.
Yeah.
And now we see more youngsters going into that because of more like a bigger picture, looking at the environment,
exactly,
and of course, all health issues as well. And I think it's growing. Unfortunately, I don't think we have a lot of restaurants that serve that here.
So
It's very hard.
do you think
Yeah,
that that during the COVID time that our patients are changing?
I think so. And I have a feeling that it will not be the same anymore. And
What do you think the
that's
difference? What do you
and I
think the
think
difference? Yeah.
one of the things that we'll see is people will start to I think there will be groups that will definitely say because of the economy crisis and everything, they might not spend as much time into the athletic part of it. But having said that, there are those who, because of this quarantine or this movement control or sort of lockdown that we are having, people have reflection towards themselves and start to sort of put more effort into liking themselves a little bit more. And these
Mhm.
are the newbies that might come into our practice, but it's just a thought. And we never know. We just have to wait and see what
Because
comes out.
I was talking to some people, and so people are watching a lot of online tutorials, right?
Right,
Because
right,
all the hairdressers are closed, so people are like, okay, how am I going to fix my hair? So there's like they look at these tutorials and they start to cut their own hair, you know, or the hair of the people that they live with, you know.
yeah, yeah,
And they're also starting to do their makeup routines, and the fillers have worn off, you know, and the toxin has started to get wrinkly. So they need to look good still, you know, even though they're
right,
not leaving the house as much. But there's all these tutorials online of how to create the perfect face with just makeup, you know, and the contouring and the highlights, you know, like just
right.
below the brows. And so I think, you know, maybe after this whole COVID thing, and you know, we can open our clinics again, maybe we'll see a change in um, the patients in a way that they have opened their eyes to like a global facial appearance instead of focusing on
Right.
specific facial areas, you know, like a nose, or but more like realizing what we do like every day. We realize that beauty is in harmony of the
In
face.
totality, yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Which we
and
always emphasize.
yeah, yeah. So I think we have less teaching to do because they already understand what we are talking about. When we talk about, we're going to accentuate and we're going to highlight. We're going to play with light reflection and shadow, and you know, to create a nice sharp definition of the jawline. That's what they do now with makeup. They put light makeup here and then a bit darker makeup here to just have that idea of that very slim, invisible sharpness to the jawline, you know.
Right.
And
And I think Chris did mention something over here. He said we will see 30% no change, 30% think harder, and 30% hold back. What do you think?
hey, that's a great prediction. It sounds, and but I'm missing the last 10% because 30 30 30 is 90. Where's the last 10%?
That 10% will go all out, I think. Like, but yeah, you're right. I mean, people spend more time. You know, the funny thing is, I have friends that you do not think about doing some aesthetic procedures before. I would never think that they would ever, even though they know me very well, they never ask me any questions. And it's during this time that suddenly I get a call or a message from them saying that, yeah, I remember you told me something about that laser. And I think I kind of want to try it out. And that was like, whoa, what's going on here? I think maybe because people are spending more time looking at themselves and starting to think, what can I do to improve myself? And perhaps that is the one that drives people to want to do something about it and seek for something that could actually
Mhm.
improve their outlook or
Yeah.
overall. Like you see, a lot of people go online and learn new skills and try to improve pickups and lots of ways. I have lots of friends who are doing cooking and
And
being
and you know what I think also, TingSong, I think I really like your approach actually. When I've seen so many of your lectures, you know, all over the world, and you're talking about like the tissue specific sandwich technique, right? And
yeah,
and what I noticed when you were doing your injections, you were giving such tiny amounts of product, and that would fit with a whole new reality after the COVID, because I think, you know, for a lot of people there's going to be budget limitations,
right,
and so because people are, you know, in an economic crisis, they're going to be a little bit more careful with the amount of money that they're going to spend, which means
right,
that for us to make them as happy as before, we have to really be very specific in which product should we choose with which rheological properties, where are we going to put it, because we have to look so carefully at the face, because if we put it just a little bit off, we need
right,
it to increase the amount to get a nice result, you know.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
so we have to be very strategic with
right,
where we place, because we have to work with 1 or 2 syringes per patient, I think, you know, instead of like 3 or 4. So
exactly.
so yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think that's where we come in because we are we are the ones doing that, right?
exactly. So that's going to be an interesting time, you know, to be, it's a
I
challenge for us.
it is, it is. And do you, since you are doing so successful with all these webinars, do you think you will be stretching out and doing more of this rather than doing more traveling after that?
I think so. I'm really getting the hang of it now. It's like I did my first one. I did it yesterday, and I'm also
Right,
doing that was my own webinar. I'm
right,
posting in my stories the announcement of the next webinars. Right now, I'm doing it. I'm planning it to do it every Thursday. My own webinars, and then I've always also been doing something with eCams.
right,
And with eCams, actually, Pin, she's the owner of eCams. She asked me
right.
to do little bite-size courses, you know, so short courses,
Hmm.
30 minutes, maximum 1 hour, but better 30 minutes. And so I focus really on a specific area. So today I recorded the periorbital rejuvenation. So it's anatomy, you know, about the periorbital area, injection techniques, the rationale behind it, product choice, you know, anatomical dangers, etc. And
Right,
and then I'm also doing something with MERTS, and
nice.
so with all this time that I'm spending with these free webinars, of course, it's just
Right,
gifts to my friends and my colleagues.
right.
I still have to find a way to make some money out of it, but
Right.
but I love to share anyway. So that's what
Sure.
I'm doing.
I think when you give, it will come back to you. I mean,
It, yeah,
you big
exactly.
you big guy, you will never stop. People will find you like him. But how do you think it will affect the dynamics in Europe, especially, you know, Italy has a big hit, Spain
Hmm.
had a big hit, and I think most of Europe had that they will go through somewhat of a recession. And we know
Hmm.
that the EU has the CE registration rules is stricter. They start implementing that, and
Hmm.
how do you see that the industry will evolve in Europe?
Um, yeah. Um, I think that that's a good question, and you know, I don't know, but what I see is that for the EU, definitely we're going to hit a recession, but that's a worldwide recession.
Exactly.
But you know, the European countries are financially quite strong, you know, so
Hmm.
there's a lot of you know, safety measures in place. So you know, there's the economy is not going to fall apart. And
Right.
fortunately, I mean, if you take Netherlands for example, uh, my company, I have all my staff right on the payroll, and my
Right.
clinic is closed because, you know,
Right.
because of the COVID situation.
Right.
The government, we have such an amazing government. They pay 90% of the salary of my staff so that I don't have to fire my staff.
No way, 90%.
90%. And
That's
you see,
amazing.
yeah, I mean, and there's so many countries around the world that that don't have that kind of reserves, you know, to be able to do
Yeah,
something like that. So
yeah,
so we are very lucky to be in this kind of situation.
right,
There's a lot of smart politics that have been preparing for something like this, you know.
right,
And so, some other European countries like Italy, they have such a lot of debt that for them it's a little bit less perfect.
right.
But definitely in the Netherlands, we are really happy and lucky with the situation.
That's for sure. Yeah, here we're still paying our staff, but we have no such thing.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
wish we have. I'm
What
moving to Netherlands.
yeah, wait until you have to pay tax, then you like them a bit less.
Well, there's always that thing, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
I know. So, like, right after this, like, right after all this is done, what is the first thing that you wanted to do? I'm
so
trying
so
paradise right now.
sorry, what was that?
Okay. So you are in paradise right now. So right after all this thing comes down, the COVID-19 becomes better. What is the first thing that you want to do?
I want to go to a nice music festival, man, and dance the night away.
That's the thing you miss the most right now.
Yeah, man, I'm missing going to parties. Really, I really love electronic music, you know, house music,
Right,
and you know, I love, you know, to lose myself on a crowded dance floor.
right.
But that it's going to be a while before I can experience that again.
Exactly. Would you feel safe right after, like, say, let's say the lockdown ends in May? Would you go out in June?
Well, you know, actually, I was saying to my friends, I was saying yesterday to my friends,
Right.
actually, it's actually it wouldn't be so bad to actually go through Corona, because if you actually
Right,
had it, you have
right,
immunity.
right,
So that would be kind of ideal. Then you know,
right,
then you'd be immune. So
right.
then you know, there's no problem anymore. So then but you know, the thing is, you know, with getting Corona, you never know how it's gonna go. You know, I mean,
Yeah, you
my
never
friend,
know. Yeah, you think your friend?
yeah, this, you know him, Tapan Taps, you
Oh
know,
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
London.
Heard.
Man, and he's been sharing it on Instagram. It's like, wow, this
Mm,
guy is super fit. You know, he's young,
yeah,
and he runs 10K 3 times a week or something, and he got hit bad, man. But he, of course, he made it, and
right.
but not of course, because you know, there's some colleagues, you know, who are working in the hospital, like in the anesthesiologist, and they're young, healthy physicians with
Yeah,
no underlying diseases, and they
right.
die, man. They die, and you know, so it's
Yeah,
I
yeah.
rather wait with getting infected
Uh,
until we have some kind of good cure.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's not just about comorbidities. I think it's a lot of cytokine storms, and if your immune system is too strong, it might actually kill you too, right?
Yeah,
And there's a
absolutely.
lot of talk about people after the COVID infection, they actually had lung fibrotic tissues, and
Exactly.
it's not the same anymore.
Hmm.
I don't want to get that. I don't want to get
So until then, we have to behave
it.
and stay safe. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just drink and get our hangover at home. It's so nice to talk to you, Yanni.
Yeah,
I wish,
TingSong. I've
yeah, very
I miss our global adventures, man. It's always so nice to hang out with you after the shows.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. It's a lot of brainstorming, a lot of fun. I really
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Well, I'm actually very jealous. You get so nice view over there. There's lots of green out there. Do,
Absolutely.
do, are you allowed to go around and just do your morning jogs and everything outside? Or
Yeah. We're not confined to the house, no. But and I go for runs. There's this whole natural reserve here. It's a
right,
protected natural reserve, and this is a perfect place to go jogging. It's so beautiful, you know. So it's for me, it's not a reason not to stay fit and stay healthy.
Damn. Now we know where to party next. If we ever had any, we should propose having a Mac symposium somewhere near your house.
Well,
so yeah, you say.
We'll have to talk to Mertz about that.
Well, so good talking to you. I'll leave
TingSong.
you to you and your family to have a great time and have a great evening. Stay
Thanks,
safe,
buddy.
stay well.
You too,
Always,
man.
all right. All right.
All
I'll
right.
see you
Thanks,
soon.
TingSong.
Okay.
Good to
Bye.
talk to you. Bye.
Likewise. Bye.
Bye.